The Young Endeavour is an Australian naval ship like none other. For 10 days at a time, within sight of land but worlds away, 24 young Australians are scrubbing toilets, washing dishes and counting out penalty push-ups. No, it's not some bizarre kind of punishment. These are the winners, the lucky ones picked by ballot for a Young Endeavour berth, a lottery which regularly leaves hundreds disappointed.
I don't know, it's just like once in a lifetime experience, I suppose. Just like, you know, it doesn't happen to that many people, it's pretty rare, so, you know. Just put in my application form and hope for the best. I put it in 3 times actually.
I've trained probably over 2,000 young Australians now, and I never ever take, for example, or consider that one trainee will be like another. And I never ever judge a trainee on first basis. You know, you can stand on a wharf and watch them as they all embark, and the way people dress, the way people behave isn't necessarily what that true character is. There's big fronts on everybody. Everyone has big fronts on them. And after a few days, Young Endeavour manages to break down those fronts, I think. And then after that passing, you can see what really is behind that front.
The first day is one of the few times the Navy crew is seen in uniform. It seems to help emphasise the absolute necessity to obey safety guidelines.
So help me in my position as captain by maintaining that responsibility for your own safety and each other's. Cool? Yay. Now all that's fairly serious stuff. In the next 10 days we are going to have absolute buckets of fun, because it just isn't worth doing anything in life unless you enjoy it. Some things in life, sure, you have to do, and you don't necessarily enjoy them. We're going to teach you, hopefully, how to enjoy things that you don't necessarily like. And with those skills, perhaps you can go on and take them somewhere else. For example, you might be told it might be 3:30 in the morning, but you'll still enjoy getting up on watch. Now, in the first few days, we come down into a bit of a low session. You're out of your environments and you're in a totally new environment. And it's very common that in the first couple of days, especially throw in seasickness, that you'll start to feel rather glum and sad. And the group has a lot, you'll say, what the hell are we doing here? I could have spent $850 flying on Great Keppel Island. True enough. But I've often found that in order to hit highs, we do necessarily have to go to a low period. It will bind you together as teams.
They're called the between mast staysails. Once again, need to check away on a furling line and heave in on a sheet to set it.
Are the sheets already there?
Yep, oh yeah, yep. Otherwise we'd have to climb all the way up. We don't want to go up there any more than we have to.
The learning curve is radical. The 24 trainees, now divided into 3 groups called Red, White and Blue Watches, get a crash course in all things nautical.
Okay, hold on with your right hand, or your left hand on that, sorry. Grab hold of that, or over the front there is easiest, yep. Stepping on starboard.
Whoa.
And in the social niceties.
When you're in the cafe, guys, and you're eating, can I always have your armpits covered, okay? We don't want hairs dropping all over the place down there.
But mostly, they learn about themselves.
Everybody, sooner or later, but inevitably everyone, makes it up here to the Togallan mast. It wouldn't be quite so bad, except that when you get up here, you're expected to let go so you can actually work on these sails.
It's a real buzz.
What's it like?
It's a real sort of adrenaline rush going up there.
When I saw the Togallan, I went, no way am I going up there. And I was just like going, I'm not climbing that high. And I said I wasn't going to go swimming in the ocean either because of the sharks. And I sort of said that I wouldn't do a few things, but I've sort of got out and done them, and I've sort of got over a few challenges. But yeah, I sort of was a bit wary of some things that I didn't particularly want to do.
What changed your mind about doing it?
Oh, everyone else sort of got in and had a go, and it sort of seemed fun, and I sort of thought, oh, well, while I'm here, I might as well make the best of it and get in and do everything.
please vacate the pool. I repeat, the pool is now closed. Please vacate the pool.
Our plan is to go down into Harvey Bay, see some whales.
Next, teamwork tests, Young Endeavour style.
Ready? Go.
Good morning, Young Endeavour! Get up! Woody has prepared for us this morning
Soggies.
Bigu and Flammy Poppers. And this is the whitewash wishing you a very good morning.
Remember, white is for winners.
Breakfasts aboard the Young Endeavour are generous, like all the meals, the sea air seeming to improve appetites. Most days, that is.
Rough weather's a little bit different, but it's not a hard job because you only cater for about 7 or 8 people when it's rough, on average, instead of 35. So
Chef Greg Woods, Woody to all and sundry, has served aboard the Young Endeavour for 2 years.
Best part would be seeing those 24 faces walk on that Monday morning with probably eyes the size of a side plate and thinking there's no way in the world I'm ever going to climb that mast, no way I'm going to stand down there in rough weather and cook in that galley. And then after 5-6 days, seeing people do 180-degree turnarounds and they're down there doing it, and they're also climbing up that mast and of their own free will. It's great.
Not everyone that comes aboard has a huge desire to learn to sail, and no one's forced into any of the physical activities of running the ship. But after as few as 2 days at sea, most of the trainees are hauling sail with the best of them.
Well, they don't make you do anything. I think the staff sort of sit back and it's all of your friends sort of saying, come on, you really should do it, we've all done it, and it's more of a peer group pressure thing, I think.
Practice makes perfect. I know there's a lot of information, a lot of commands, a lot of wordings. All commands for the setting the sails and furling the sails are exactly the same.
With the basics on sailing almost in hand, teamwork skills get a slightly different workout.
I don't have much to do with the games, unfortunately, but I've no idea who instigates those games. Good change, good change.
What makes the difference? The difference between us and any other ship, or the difference between them and say another training institution? I think fun, huge fun. If you can motivate people by making it fun, you can do anything. That happens when we get up at 3:30 and go and watch, or whether we go down and we're doing cleaning stations, or we're doing sail setting when it's blizzardy rain type thing. The whole idea of it being that it has to be fun, and fun comes in many forms and shapes. It isn't necessarily something that you enjoy, and that's one thing that I've learnt being on here, that there's a certain amount of camaraderie that is generated through hardship. It brings people together, and that, I think, is what we take a hold of and then make it fun.
Yeah, you do get a little bit ill at times, and you sort of, this morning I woke up and thought there's no way I'll just pretend to be asleep, and then you get the guilt and you think everyone else is up there doing it, so you go up.
Those that are sick, ain't much you can do, bear with it, all right? Keep your fluids up, don't dehydrate yourself, and when you're going to throw up, make sure you throw up over the leeward rail, not to windward, for obvious reasons, all right? That's about it.
And you will get better, guys.
24 hours, all right? Trust me.
And some people are still not using the ablution facilities in the morning. Shame, shame, shame. All right, make sure your tub's in the morning. While we're all living in this nice little tight area together. Okay, everyone, off to cleaning stations. Let's go.
It's hard to believe I'm on holidays, you know. You don't usually clean these grimy sort of things when you're taking 2 weeks off, let alone 2 weeks off and whales are swimming around, so I'm finding it quite hard to handle, but it's not too bad.
Tomorrow, the Young Endeavour crew get shore leave and...
Hopefully we shall find some of these great mammals of the sea that are supposedly somewhere out in Harvey Bay. Good to see everyone's in a better mood. All right, as you can see, we are Fraser Island directly ahead, about 3.5 hours away. We'll be there for lunch. Okay, this afternoon, everyone can get on shore, frolic on the beach, whatever you wish to do. And then, frolicking. Then we're going to have a barbecue ashore tonight. Oh, yeah!
The halfway point in the 10-day voyage, and the youth crew have the routines involved in running the ship down pat now, leaving ample time to observe that ancient mariner's skill of spinning tall tales.
As with yesterday, Brian and the Brigands, okay? Here they were, sailing around the Mediterranean. In those days, they used to have problems sort of going to the toilet because they really didn't have anywhere below deck. They didn't have modern flushing systems. And
this skill, along with an outrageous sense of humour, is common to all Young Endeavour's professional crew.
They're maniacs. They're great. They're wacky as hell. Yeah, they are. I'm very lucky because I have the ability to choose my own team. Probably the only ship in the Navy that has that ability. It requires a very special person to be a Young Endeavour crew member. It requires ease of character, it requires a pretty wacky sense of humour. It also requires a lot of work. This may look like a great job, but these people have to work hard, long hours, and with trainees whom they have to keep going the whole time. There's no stop, there's no give up. But yeah, I'm very proud of my crew.
They've got the most patience I've ever seen, and they've all got the best personality, and they're just wonderful. They keep us going, and they keep us in best mood, even when we're over the side of the boat.
We have an opposite to the shame file, the good guy file. Today, the good guy file, Fiona had a shower.
Yeah, they know what they're on about, and it's like they're always out to help you. And if, you know, it's good. We haven't actually had in a situation where we need help yet, but I suppose if we did, they'd be right there to help us. You know.
Sort of inspire confidence?
Yeah, and they're good.
Most of the guys have been in the Navy for quite a while, and it's something that's in me. And having a physical training and background, it's something you can introduce, but introduce also in a fun way.
Can you think of anything you'd rather be doing?
No, nothing at all. This is probably long-term, probably the highlight of my career.
How high are we?
You're looking at where we are. You're looking. The mast itself is about going over 30 metres, so we're looking around about 28, 29 metres at the moment.
Woo!
And as you can see, with the ship moving around, and it can be quite bumpy, quite moving, and definitely a challenge.
And they used to say, I'm going up to visit the figurehead. Now, being lazy as sailors are, they shortened that and said, I'm going up to visit the head. Where it comes from, that's where we got heads.
The Young Endeavour's heads are a touch more up-to-date and decidedly eco-friendly.
We've got an evac system which runs on a vacuum, and it all gets put into one tank, goes through a massacrator, and then it gets treated and it's discharged. It's environmentally friendly and doesn't hurt the sea life.
And despite restricting showers to 90 seconds per person, there's plenty of water to go around.
Well, we only carry about, say, 13 tonne of water, but that'll quickly go over a period of, say, 2 or 3 days with everybody using it. So we have to replenish our stocks of water, and we do that by using a reverse osmosis plant.
On dry land, after a week afloat, the youth crew let loose.
It's good to be able to sort of run around the beach and lie down and not have everything shaking under you. It's quite nice.
Did that rocking sensation have any effect on you when you were on the ship?
Wednesday was a total write-off for me. Absolute write-off. I slept 18 hours out of the 24 and was sick for the other 6. Not a well teddy.
Glad to have a little break from the ship and all the other guys?
Not really. You know, I enjoy it out there. It's good fun. It is. Like, I'm really enjoying it.
Have you got your sea legs yet?
Yes, I have. I was the only one who wasn't seasick. That was great.
Then there's Fiona, notorious for her non-appearance in the showers.
So how many showers have you had since you've been on board?
God. How long have we been on board?
5 days.
Had 2, but I've been swimming.
I'll just step back a bit. All jokes aside, what's it like living so closely with so many people?
It's fun. It's fun because you're thrown together. You have to get along. You have to sort of have fun. And there's no sort of room for people who are piking out or won't join in, or any sourpuss. Everyone's just thrown in there, and it's great. Couldn't be better. Really really good. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Those newly acquired teamwork skills get a workout, saving dinner from the rising tide. What are you looking forward to doing most?
Probably crewing the ship ourselves and sailing it without, or with as few orders from the crew as possible. So when we get home, we can, really look back and say that we sailed the brigantine just all on our own.
Next, close encounters of the mammal kind. Queensland's Hervey Bay, just before dawn. And this is what we've been waiting for. We've all been pulled out of bed early because there are whales dead ahead, a couple of them. It's the first glimpse of what will be a day-long encounter with these elusive lords of the sea. The chance sighting provides the cue for an impromptu lesson on marine biology.
Their feeding habits, their mating habits. So I went away and did some 20 minutes of research, and now I'm a fully whale expert. Even the smaller whales are 15 times the size of an elephant. Okay, now the whales that we have are called cetaceans. Now cetaceans cover the whole broad prospect or aspect of mammals at sea. Whales, there are dolphins and porpoises. They're divided into two main types, particularly whales. One into odontocetes and the other one into baleen. Now, these two types all depend on their eating habits. The odontocetes actually are the fish-eating ones. The other ones, which are far more common, are baleen whales, and that's what a humpback is, the ones we've been looking at this morning.
Whoa, yeah. The Young Endeavour's teaching role is by design, not by accident. Built in Merry England, specifically for sail training, the Young Endeavour sailed down under as Britain's bicentennial gift to her former colony. Small by tall ship standards, the 44-metre twin-masted brigantine has more than held her own in national and international events since then. Young Endeavour even played a dramatic life-saving role in the 1993 Sydney to Hobart yacht race. With state-of-the-art navigation and communication systems, Young Endeavour was well suited to the task of radio relay vessel. But as the weather worsened, she was required to rescue 7 crew from a disabled yacht before sinking the vessel to prevent other ships colliding with it. But the majority of her trips are more sedate, particularly these regular day trips for groups of extra special young people.
Watch your feet, there's little lumps on the deck there. Okay, now you can sit down.
Give us a thumbs up. Let's go.
Thumbs up. All right.
All right, taking away on the furling line.
Okay, I'm taking these turns off.
Set, go and stay so. Go guys, heave it.
You feel the weight come into the line. All right, you feel it now. Keep checking away. Give him some line. Give him some line. That's good. Hey, we set a sail. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The Young Endeavour's 10-day voyages regularly include disadvantaged youth whose berth is sponsored. The whole idea? To ensure adventure sails are open to 16 to 24-year-olds from the length and breadth of the country. The Young Endeavour is also Australia's only tall ship run by a Navy crew.
But amongst all the fun and games, some serious learning does go on. At sea, it's vital that things are known by their correct nautical term. If occasionally the trainees forget that term, well, there's some old-fashioned Navy discipline to provide incentive.
Legs crossed over, flat backs. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
I suppose to a lot of people, the Navy isn't the type or the ideal body to be doing this youth development type thing. We've certainly proven a lot of people wrong. I think we're doing a great job at it. I think we're doing it probably better than any other group that could try to do it. The reason being that our interests are wholly focused on the idea of training. I mean, the ship itself is just a machine. It is purely a platform, a stage for us to do our training. the Navy, or the scheme that we've got running now, focuses very much so on the trainee, creating the right environment for it. There is a danger in tall ships to focus on the machine, focus on the sails and the beauty of the tall ship. And most captains and sailors who've had any time before the mast would say that's entirely wrong. Ships have a purpose. Flippers sail with grain, phosphates. And in this case, this ship, we sail as a training ship, and that's our purpose.
I think the best part's been just simply learning to sail the ship, getting the sails up, climbing out onto the yards when it's been windy and having the wind in your face, and then looking out and seeing the whales in the distance. That was a blast. That was a real highlight too.
The worst thing I think is just the sickness, and I mean that only lasts, I've only had it for say an hour out of the whole 7 days, so it's bad, but it's only fairly mild. The best thing I think is, you seem to be having fun the whole time, even doing things like this in the kitchen. Sorry, the galley.
Oh, you know what happens when you say kitchen is the galley? Yes! Yeah! Here we go. Spell out the penalty.
There you go. I'll count them out for you. And while you're in there, you can clean the deck.
Come on.
Come on. 1, 2, 3. Kiss the feet. 4, 5. Some people just never learn.
Tomorrow, the youth trainees take command of the ship. Hugh's 17th birthday and the Young Endeavour Youth Crew's D-Day coincide. It's time for the budding adventurers to take over the ship, choosing their own captain, executive officers, watch leaders and cook.
I'll expect you to take the ship from 0800 tomorrow morning, and including in that is the ceremony of colours, and from that period onwards you are in charge of the ship.
The Navy crew take to the life rafts just in case.
We finished our voting for today, and our CO is Rowan, our XO is Fatty. We've got 3 navigators, that's Phil, Jane and Lyndon. We've got 3 watch leaders, Jane, Josh and Joe. Our food person, our cook is Leanne, with James and Nick to help. Congratulations, guys.
Navigator, navigator, rise up and be strong.
It is an arduous task. Sometimes it does get very difficult. Sometimes when you're up there to tack for the 21st time of the night and you're saying, I need to get some sleep and I'm sick and tired of being stuffed around and blah, 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 and you lose your call, and then there are tears, and then there's stress, and then there's the whole box and dice, and some people decide to throw in the old towel. Unfortunately, if you do throw in the towel, I'm still not going to take the ship back off you. You are still going to have to persevere. Okay? This is a very large commitment, and one that you should tackle as a team. Okay? To share the weight and also support each other. And everything that you've learnt in the last 10 days will help you survive the next 36 hours or so.
Navigator, navigator, rise up and be strong.
As if on cue, the winds came up to make the challenge just that little bit more interesting. Below, the new chefs discover it's not quite as easy as it looks.
All right if the boat wasn't rocking so much as they see everywhere. The boat ones are on the bottom, so don't see those ones.
By necessity, you tend to become very close to your shipmates. Oh, excuse me. After all, it's like being in a small 3-bedroom house, herding 36 people into it, then telling them there's no front door or back door, and definitely no backyard to play in.
The rising winds test newfound skills and even seasoned sea legs.
You forget about Fiona doing anything strenuous for the next couple of days.
What seemed second nature under the guiding eyes of the Navy crew just isn't happening.
Frustrating, isn't it? Blocks you give away, for example, to take praying out, probably half a dozen others.
But finally, it's over.
The fact being in command, I think, forced me to think more about other people. I had a lot more responsibility. I had to think about not only what I was going to do, but also what everybody else was going to do at the same time. So the high points, I feel, were very much when things were working very smoothly. The sails, setting the sails, getting off anchor, brilliant. Watching people work smoothly in their teams, just amazing. Some of the low points when things were getting a little bit hairy. Coming in at night, we had one mooring when we had to come in pitch black dark, one light to sight from. The depth was getting shallow very rapidly, and I was worrying about that. But that's probably the first time I was worried then. Worrying about everybody, what they were doing, trying to get everything running smoothly. I think that's the biggest thing. You need to be incredibly organised to run a ship, and I'm glad I don't have to do it all the time.
Their mission accomplished, the youth crew let down their hair and the Navy crew acquire hair for a concert finale.
Oh, please, unbelievable! Mickey Mouse. Donald Duck. Elton John.
There was a man called Marty. He said he was a party, saying party, party, party.
And after 10 days together, everyone is an award winner.
And this one's for Blondie for being the biggest kid. Little Johnny. And the next one goes to Fiona, the person who always smells. Okay, this goes to Scotty for the best body and watch leader. Okay, this goes to Leanne for the Mother Award, looking after everyone. You're sweet.
We are sailing on Endeavour across the sea.
I have a certificate to give each and every one of you. Please include it as part of your resume. Because what this certificate tells people isn't that you've just gone sailing. It tells people that you are willing to go out and have an adventure. You are willing to go out and push yourself. You are willing to extend yourself. And that, to a potential employer, is very, very important.
You come out of the voyage at the end, having had a command day, I mean everybody, you just feel on top of the world really. And I'll be going home, and this will be one of the high points.
Will you miss it?
Yes. Yes, I will, yep. All of us, I think everybody I've spoken to about it has said, oh, I'd love to come back, I'd love to spend more time on the Young Endeavour, I want to do a longer voyage. And even those who are seasick, like I was terribly seasick, incredibly seasick for the first 2 days, and but once you get over it, it's just wonderful.